Folks! I like to call people folks. Yes! Jeremy's here! Once again! More toy reviews, more Captain Subpar toy reviews. I'm finally getting into it, I'm loving it. Guess what, guys? So, a couple videos ago, I showed you the Ninja Storm part of the first wave of the Legacy collection of action figures. Those were nice, those were fun. I found those at Target. And Target is the only place that people were finding these figures. However, I went to the Walmart in a beautiful Battle Creek, Michigan. That's a misnomer. Battle Creek ain't that great. But Battle Creek, you know, known for that CBS show by the guy who did Breaking Bad that lasted for one season and then was canceled because police procedurals in Battle Creek is not a great idea because Battle Creek is not that big of a place. Yes, Battle Creek is known for Rob Van Dam, the wrestler. Rob Van Dam. That's about it. Yeah, so that was fun, but I went to Battle Creek. Yes, I went to Walmart. It's not that far away. And they had a whole assortment of the first wave. They had a couple of boxes open, actually. I think Tori is actually the short packed figure this time around because Tommy was plentiful, Jason was plentiful. Which, you know, because everybody knows we need more Jason than Tommy. But what that means is, yes, I already spoiled it. Jason. Tommy. Yeah. But yes, we have the other two figures from Wave 1. For those who don't know, yes, you can see it right there on the bottom. Wave 1 is the 3 Ninja Storm figures and the 2 most populous guys from MMPR. It looks like that is actually the plan. Based on the chart they had at Power Morphicon during the toy panel, what they're really trying to do is they're trying to simultaneously release 2 different series at the same time. What it looks like is that in the next line, I believe what they're going to do is we're going to get 3 of the in-space figures, 2 more of the MMPR figures, and then the next assortment will be the other 3 in-space figures and the other 2 MMPR, so you'll have them all. Don't quote me on that. And then once that's all finished, they're going to move on to Zeo / another confidential series. I don't know what series it's going to be. If you're asking me personally, I think it'll be Dino Thunder, because getting Zeo and Dino Thunder at the same time would be pretty friggin' sweet. But I don't know. So this is what we have right now to finish out Wave 1. I'm happy with that because these figures are a little pricey and I don't want to have to buy any more for a little while. But, so, 20 bucks a pop, as I said before, to get these figures. 2 more to look at. Who are we going to look at first? Let's go with Jason. He was first anyway. So, let's check this out. Little slicey on the top. Little slicey on the side. Oh, and yes, for those who don't know, I'm sorry, I'll just go over the top. See, there's the top, sides, bottom, back, you know, just to give you a quick look. And yes, Jason comes with the main part of the Build-A-Megazord. If you're unfamiliar, if you haven't watched my other videos, Build-A-Megazord, very simple. See, Kimberly's an arm, Zach's an arm, Billy and Trini appropriately are the legs, but the midsection is Jason. They don't come as individual Zords, they don't combine in the normal way. They just snap on, build a figure, Marvel comic style. Put Jason up. Here we go. See, there he is in all his glory. And unfortunately, this is all we're going to have right now for the Megazord until the second wave is out. He is an amputee. Yes. Quadriplegic amputee. Poor Megazord. Won't you please help him out? For just $6 a day, you too can help this Megazord. I will remember you. You will remember. Wait, he's not a dog. Never mind. Sorry. Anyway, and yeah, here we go. Take that off. A little tapey tape. Come off. There's a little holster for the sidearm, for the Blade Blaster. Blade Blaster, it's just white and red. There's no other really details. Oh, sorry, there's a little silver tip. Just the tip. Right there. And it will slide ever so like this. in the little holster. And then, Jason, hop out. Oh, good. He has little plastic holders, but I got them out very quickly. Didn't have to cut them. Simple enough. And here's the figure. See in the back, they do have all the color applications. I like that. The Morpher, I mean, lots of color on the Morpher. Very, very detailed. Very detailed on the helmet. I've been over this in my last review, but the articulation, lots of articulation at the shoulder, you know, in the bicep, double articulation at the elbow, full ball joints at the wrist, the head, full ball, so it goes up and down and to the side, ball joints here at the legs and at the feet, double articulation at the knee. The only real complaint that jumps out at me right now is the cuffs. See how they have like this little like circle, like little indentation at the top and the bottom? That's kind of weird to me. If you don't remember, back in 2010, when they made anniversary figures, the weird thing about those was they had one specific mold. So when you would have, say, a Zeo figure where, you know, there's gold cuffs, and then you go to the In Space figure, you know, going from Tommy to Andros, and, you know, Andros's costume doesn't have any cuffs. They're just full white gloves. But the indentation from the mold of the Zeo figure would still be there. So it would look very odd, very weird, because they didn't put a lot of effort into it, so you just had one basic mold. Which, you know, costumes, while they're all Red Rangers, there's differences. I think the molds here aren't that style. They're more supposed to be just to show, like, a difference, you know, where the cutoff is. But I also don't think they're necessary. They're not really accurate to the costume in the show. It's a little off-putting. It's not as bad as that, but it's a little, you know, a little odd in that sense. And then you slip on there. Sidearm, very nice. I keep saying don't I? A couple of problems that I said with the Ninja Storm figures that I still think hold true. And that's more with the figures themselves, with the weapons. That's my thing, is he doesn't come with a sword. That's disappointing. I know this, like I said before, the sword does come with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version where he's more of a shiny metallic red, but he also comes with both a sword for the Megazord and his own sword. To me, that shouldn't be an exclusive. That should be, comes with. He should have his sword, he should have his Blade Blaster in actual gun mode, and you can also have the sidearm mode. I think that would be fair. Just the basic weapons. And again, by comparison, 1 second. Since I think people enjoy this comparison, I will pull out the Figuarts version, which I just so happen to have here. The articulation is very similar. The Bandai America version actually has slightly more articulation in certain areas. And obviously it's a bigger figure, that's cool. But it fails in a few areas as well. Here we have actual, like, little, you can see the movement in the fabric. This is a more human sculpt, for a lack of a better word. It's the proportions are much more an actual person's proportions as opposed to a jacked up superheroes. And of course it has the weapon. With all those tiny little details in the sword, you can see that. It also has interchangeable hands. If you want to switch the hands out to different ones, very easy to do. I like the fact that the belt on this one actually moves around. It doesn't necessarily have to, but it's a cool little detail that, again, makes it feel more realistic in the Figuarts figure. What else? I mean, paint-wise, they're very, very similar. That's not a huge problem. But when you're looking for screen accuracy, which is always my big thing, Figuarts is going to win on that. Figuarts, again, cost about twice as much, 40 instead of 20. So if that's a problem for you, you know, I mean, that's fair. And this is a very serviceable figure. I mean, legitimately, if you're just talking about American-made figures, this is probably the best figure we have ever gotten. But it's in the detail. The devil is in the details, as they say. And in that respect, I believe Figuarts wins out. But again, you know, I mean, it's a great figure on its own. Like, there's no huge issues with it. I guess that's what I have to say, is that it's definitely worth your money, especially if you want to make the Megazord. That's another cool thing. But I do think there are a few things that are very basic additions, not huge things to ask for, that we did not get. And in that respect, I am a tad bit disappointed. But we will put Jason aside for now, and we'll move on to Tommy. Tommy is going to be a bit different in the respect that he doesn't have a Build a Megazord piece. Because they could have tried to split the Megazord into 6 pieces. I wouldn't have been against that. And again, it's hard to do a full Dragon Zord, so they were in a bit of a quandary in that respect. But you'll see the big difference with Tommy right away. Tommy actually comes with his Dragon Dagger. Tommy even comes with the Sword of Darkness, and he actually has an extra set of hands. So before I even get any further, I want to actually say, I would have been willing to sacrifice the Build a Megazord if that would have meant that every figure in the line would have also come with extra hands and their full assortment of weapons. I think that's a fair thing to say. You know? I don't know if Bandai of America is going to be super pumped to hear that, but, I mean, I'm trying to call a spade here. And I feel like I'm in a bit of a difficult position because I want to be 100% honest, which I feel like I'm being. I want to tell you that, honestly, these are good figures. These are very, very good figures, and that's an important thing to note. But, you know, there are definitely things that are lacking, and I'm also willing to say that, you know, I want to be fair. I want to be fair. I don't want to say fair but balanced because, you know who says that. And I don't want to get that stigma on me, but sorry, not trying to get political. But ultimately, I'm just trying to be 100% honest because I want you to get the figures that you feel like are best for you. That's what's important here too, you know? Because I know that just because this is my taste, it doesn't necessarily mean it's your taste as well. And $20 a pop is a fair price, but it's also nothing to sneeze at. So, here's Tommy. Interesting figure. Okay, I think the first thing I'll say is that the shield is definitely fully molded on, which I like. It's a very solid design. I like the fact that, like, you can kind of see under it. It's not, like, 100% pressed to his chest. So it's kind of got a little bit of a feel of that it can come off. And because it can, you know, in the show it can come off. So that's a very cool thing. Okay, now this is what makes more sense. This is what I should have figured out earlier. The little loops on Jason's gloves and boots are because Tommy has gold lining on his. That annoys me. That genuinely annoys me. Because that tells me you did not take the time to properly mold him as an individual figure. Instead, you had the mold for Tommy and you just used it for Jason as well. That kind of sucks, Bandai of America. It really does. I really think there needs to be a reissue on this figure. I'm not trying to jump the gun, you know, and be breathed down your throat. But that is a poor mistake. That is a mistake that you made 6 years ago with your anniversary line, and I didn't want to see it again. And unfortunately, it's very much here. There should not be little loops on Jason's gloves and boots. Period. But let's move on to other things. The dagger itself, very nice. You know, got gold, silver, black, and green. 4 colors on a weapon is a pretty solid assortment. Pretty well detailed. Fits right here as well. And fits right here on the side. A big one plus and one minus about this. Plus, you made sure you got the holster black. Good. Minus, Jason and Tommy's is supposed to be on the opposite side of the other Rangers. So, again, you have to fix that. If you're, that's the whole thing, is because when it comes to this line, This is supposed to be a line obviously dedicated to collectors. It's cool that it's in regular stores and not just Toys R Us, so it's a little more accessible. But if you're dedicating your line to collectors, then your key has to always be screen accuracy. Go for it 100%. Some things are out of your control. Sometimes you can't get the 100% perfect paint job. I kind of get that. But, you know, some things are pretty basic, like holsters on the right side, not having the cuffs. So on that part, you do disappoint me a little bit. The hands, it's a very simple little pop-out ball joint. There's one for left and right, same basic holding. The hand is in that position, obviously, for the flute. I'll just put one on here to show you how it goes. Ooh. I don't think the ball joints, actually, the little snap part, I don't think they're super thick and strong. So I feel like there's a bit of a chance that if you snap them on and off too much, that eventually they will break. So I'm probably not going to do too much of it. I'm probably going to keep them in their regular standard hands for the most part. But he's got the Dragon Dagger, and I will put the Sword of Darkness in his other hand. Again, red, silver, black, got some decent paint stuff, pretty solid design on that part. So we'll put Tommy up here. And once again, I will grab a figure art for you guys so you can take a look at that. Get some comparisons. Oh wait, you know what? Even on the figure arts, they have everything on the left side. Maybe I'm confused. I will retract that earlier statement if I am, because I feel like maybe it was in the show. Maybe it was when Tommy came back or something, just in the American version. But I feel like they always put the pouch, I guess, the holster, on the other side. I have to check that out, because if I'm off on that, I'm sure somebody will tell me. I will retract that part of the statement. I won't retract what I said about the cuffs, because that's legit, but the holster thing, I know that's always been a point of oddness with the show, and I'm not like super historian of the show. I mean, I'm a super mega fan, but oh my god, I just said super mega. That's annoying. But, you know, little things like that. Dagger-wise, obviously the figure arts one is more detailed. I think the proportions are a little better on it, but I mean, the American one is still pretty legit. So, same stuff before about the fabric, about the build. Don't have to really say that again. Shield's very comparable, very nice on both figures. Again, it's the same sort of story where the American one is very, very good, but there are little things where it's not as good. Like the teeth on the side of the helmet. They took the time to make them gray in the figure arts. They did not in the American version. So, again, I don't like to belabor the point. I'm sure I do. But our figure is very, very good and definitely worth $20. Their figure is that much better and worth the $40. Oh! Oh no! Oh, Tommy down! Tommy down! He broke his wrist and he's dropped his dragon dagger. But yeah, so that's the thing, is if you're willing to pay the extra money and you're willing to import, definitely worth it. If you're not, understandable. Our version is very, very good. It's definitely a $20 figure. Like I said, little things I tweak, but a great figure overall. And again, I would drop the Build-A-Megazord just drop it like a bad habit if we got extra hands and all the weapons. I really, really would. But you know what? That's it for me. I think this is a very solid Wave 1. I look forward to Wave 2, and I hope that they hear what we have to say and make improvements along the way. As always, this has been Captain Subpar's Toy Review. Like this video if you like it. Comment if you have some fun things to say. I will comment back. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed to it. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Share this video if you have toy fans in your little circle of friends. Whatever, how you do. Power Ranger fans, you know who you are. I will be back very soon with another exciting review video, maybe a talking video. I don't know. I've been doing so many videos the last few days. I hope you've been watching them all. This is Jeremy, aka Captain Subpar, signing out for the day. And always, I am going to be king of the toys. Yeah, getting into it. Finally. Commitment.